Well, hi everybody, this is Angelo Quinones and you reach Ministries, and we're looking at the full Hebrew construction of this famous verse where it says Jehovah sent Jehovah. Okay? Jehovah sent Jehovah is here in verses 8 and 9 of Zachariah chapter 2. And that's the proof that there is more than one person to God. There's two here. Jehovah is speaking. It says over here, for thus says the Lord of hosts. So the Lord is speaking. And then he says, after the glory, okay, he has sent me. So Jehovah is clearly saying that somebody sent him. Now in verse 9, we see that Jehovah sent him because the Tetragrammaton appears again. Then you will know that the Lord has sent me. You see? Apostolke me in the Greek Septuagint. We're going to check out the Greek Septuagint soon. So we saw the word ki in Hebrew means for, cho, which means thus, Amar, which means says, okay, Yahweh, which means Lord, is translated. It's translated Lord here, and it's the Tetragrammaton. It's Jehovah or Yahweh, and then we saw Sabaoth, and that means of hosts, and then we saw the word for after, which is Achar. Okay, so that's after. Now we begin with the glory. Okay, kabod. Now we started to look at this. We have the letters. Okay, I'm under the number of Strong's, so 3,519. Now we have, okay, a cough, like with a hardening dogish in the bosom or the belly of this letter. And it's making the letter, I should say, hard. Underneath it, you have something that looks like a T. We already saw that there's no T looking, there's no symbol that looks like a T in Hebrew to us. When you're looking at something that looks like a T, you are looking at a diacritic, and that's a class like in the word father. So you're to pronounce that T looking thing, okay, as an A, like in father. So that's ka. And then you have a bet right after that, okay, which is a B. And so the rule of this, that even though there's no hardening dogish, the consonant before, if it has a diacritic like an A, for example, it makes the letter, I should say, hard. Okay, so you don't need a hardening dogish in a second letter of a consonant to make it hard if the previous consonant has a diacritic. And this one has an A, a kametz. So it's still kaba, not kava, you know. So you have a cough with the kametz, a bit, and after the bit, you have a vav or a wow. We saw that in the Tetragrammaton, but it has a dot up above the letter. So remember what that does? When you see a dot like that, you pronounce the vowel, you pronounce that vowel, because it's acting like a vowel, as, okay, all. You don't say va or wa. You don't pronounce the consonant sound. Okay, this is acting like a vowel, so you only pronounce the diacritic, all. Okay? Just like in the word sa-ba-ot. It's not pronounced sa-ba-vot or sa-ba-wot. Okay? When it's a vowel, when it's acting like a vowel, you understand what I'm saying? Either if it's a Shurek, U class, or whatever the case may be, or like this O, you are to pronounce it as O and not with the consonant, after the consonant. You don't pronounce the consonant at all in this situation. Okay, so after that you have a dalet, which means a door, by the way. Okay, Jesus said, "I am the door." Ha dalet, actually. Ha dalet. And he said, "I am the door." Ha means the, and then dalet means door. I am the door, and that's located in verse 9 of chapter 10 of John's Gospel. Now, so this is a D. It looks like a 7, doesn't it, though? And it does look like the R a little bit in the previous word. That's the problem. But now the R is rounded off to the corner, the upper right-hand corner is rounded off. That's why it's an R. Okay, now this D, there's a horn sticking out. Okay, to the upper right-hand corner. It's not rounded off. That's how you can only tell that this is a D and not the resh, not the R. Okay? So it's just a horn protruding from the upper right-hand corner. From the upper right-hand corner. So, kabod means glory. The glory. So far it says over here, for thus says Yahweh of hosts, after the glory. Now this is the coup de grace. For thus says the who? Jehovah. Is the tetragrammaton is up there. Now we're on the first floor to the bottom right. Now Jehovah says this, has he sent me? For thus says the Lord of hosts. And then he says, okay, after the glory, has he sent me? It says over here. So he said, Jehovah is speaking. He said that somebody sent him. Well, now we see that someone, okay, in verse 9. The tetragrammaton appears again, and clearly, this is Jehovah sent Jehovah. Clearly. Clearly. You understand? Well, why, does a so-called angel appear and he's called Jehovah? It says the angel appear and then Jehovah is speaking. Well, obviously, that could be a Christophany, an appearance of Christ. Okay? And so the thing is that you have to understand that some translations, the names of God Bible has several times the translation messenger. Messenger. You understand? Messenger in place of, angel. Okay? So what is the Hebrew word over here? Well, first of all, there's a W-looking letter. I mean, it's not a W. I'm under 7,971. There's a W-looking letter. Remember, you read Hebrew from right to left. It's a W-looking letter here. What's the deal? Okay? Well, this is an SH. Why is an SH? Can it be an S also? Yes, but this is the key. This is the deal. Now, in modern Hebrew, you don't need dots above. You don't need sheen dots and seen dots, okay? Or shin dots and sin dots. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you don't need those diacritics. You don't need them. As a matter of fact, the shin or the sheen actually looks different in descriptive form of Hebrew. Okay, but this W-looking letter is an SH. How can you tell it's an SH and not an S? Well, there's a dot. Check it out. It's right under the 1. Okay, there's a dot above the sheen or the shin. Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, he passed away a couple of years ago, or last year, or whatever the case may be. He said that he pronounced this letter as shin, not sheen. Some people pronounce it shin and not sheen. Some people do the reverse. It's not a sin to call seen sin also. That S. It's not. Okay? Some people pronounce letters differently in Hebrew. We already saw that the tau is pronounced, it can be pronounced as S in some dialects and as a TH. All right. So how do you know that this is an SH here? Like in the word for Moshe. How? Well, there's a dot to the upper right-hand corner of the letter. It's not touching the letter. It shouldn't touch it. And that is a shin dot or a sheen dot. That is telling you that this is to be pronounced, this letter is to be pronounced as SH. And regardless of the position of the dot, if it's an SH or an S, the letter is still called sheen or shin. Okay? Okay, it's just like the B. Regardless of if it's hardened or not, it's still called bet. You understand what I'm saying? So that just doesn't make a difference of the secondary pronunciation of the letter. It really doesn't make a difference. The dot is above to the upper right-hand corner of the letter. So that is telling me that this is an SH. Now, if it appears to the upper left-hand corner of the letter, then it is an S. And there is another S that you don't have to worry about all these things, which is the samech, which is the opposite side looking symbol of the sigma. Indeed, sigma, the Greek sigma, the Greek S comes from that. It's just pointing the other way. The horn is pointing the other way in sigma. You understand what I'm saying? So you just say she because you have a schwa underneath it, and that's like an E. That's like an E sound, the schwa. Okay, the schwa. Be careful with the schwa being underneath the second letter of a Hebrew word, because probably you're looking at the first two letters being one syllable. And thus the schwa in that situation is not making a sound. It's just pointing out that there's just one syllable. Okay? All right. So so you have she here, and then the next syllable, you have an L. You have like an upside down looking four or something like that. It's strange. It's underneath the 9. That long looking letter is an L. Say, okay, Lamed. Lamed, like Lamed. That's an L in Hebrew. Okay? Lamed, like in the word Elohim. That's an L. Okay? Let's look at the time. Oh, we're pretty good. So far we have she, la. Why la? You said it's L. Why la? Well, you pronounce the consonant first, okay? And then the thing is, in most situations, I should say, okay? And then underneath the L or lamed, well, you have an A class. So you pronounce the consonant first, l, right? Like in Larry. And then the T looking letter, we already saw that that's an A class. That can be an A class. Okay, so you have sha-la. Sha-la. Okay, sha-la. Then after that, underneath really the 7, sort of, you have a chet. That's a CH letter. Okay, that's a CH letter. And so that's a guttural. But why is it cha and not just ch? Because underneath it, there's a hyphen looking thing. And we already saw that that is an A class. That's another A class, pethach. There's one A class called kametz. There's another A class called pethach, right? So sha, la, che, and then ni shows possession. Okay, it shows possession. You know, ani means I am. You see, it's really describing. It's just you know, it's a verb, but you know, like my Lord, you know, and words like that with a E sounding at the end. This is shala cha ni. Well, that's showing possession. He has, and it says, has he sent me? Has he sent me? Okay. And it's really the me is really is pointing is really pointing to the last part of the word, me. You know, me. Okay, he sent me. So anyway, so shalachani. Okay, it's just pointing, you know, I sort of, you know, that's what's really pointing to. And so he has sent me. So this is a proof that somebody sent Jehovah. Now, the N in Hebrew looks like the old-fashioned telephone, right? That you picked up, right? Two had a speaker and a microphone. Remember those old telephones? And so underneath it you have an I class. There's a dot. It's called herek. Herek. Okay, that's ne so far, right? But then it's E because the yod is acting like a vowel, like in the word Elohim. Okay? So that's just the deal. There's a yod there. That's acting like a vowel. Okay? So you don't say shalachani yo. That's acting like a vowel, and it's not acting like the consonant that appears in the word, okay, Yahavah or Jehovah or Yahweh. Yeah. But that's not a ya sounding consonant here. That's just part of that's a vowel, and that's just part of the pronunciation of the hirek, you know, E. Okay? Shalachani. Now, I guess I have just time for a little bit more. Unto is el. Okay, is el. That's a preposition. Okay, that's a preposition. And that's unto. Okay, that will be probably ace in the Greek, a Septuagint. I got to check it out. And then El is just El, not El. El means God, shortcut for God. You understand? A singular, a version of God, a name, title. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, I have to go. This is Angelo Quinones giving the glory to the God of Yisrael. Okay, thanks.